So important tools for establishing an experiment or demonstration trial are good flags. You want those plots to be well marked because it's easy to locate them and to apply the treatments, first of all. Second, because a nice experiment, nice layout experiment and well demarcated is better when you want to show your trial for the producers or you want to show them for other researchers. Showcase for when you want to showcase the trial.
So there are multiple ways how we can mark the plots. I would say we can use a tape measure, flags, and the Pythagorean theorem in order to square them very well. So you have all the plots, aligned well, particularly when you are going to perform maintenance in those plots. For example, if you have to apply herbicides or fertilizer or any other sort of treatment and you need a tractor, you want all the plots to be well aligned and a straight allocation, so it's easier to drive the tractor around and on top of those plots. So that's number one. And also, again, as Marcelo mentioned, if you're going to be doing a field trial or something or some sort of demonstration with those plots, it's always better to have them, if they measure, if they have the same size, the same length, and also if they are square, because it's more visually appealing. So one way to do it, again, is using a tape measure and flags. Or if you have a tractor with a good GPS, you can also mark, the corners, and you can even mark the plots before applying the treatments with a tractor if you're working on bare ground. Of course, that's not an option if you are using, a perennial pasture, for example, and you're imposing or planting, for example, a cool season on top of a Bahia grass or Bermuda grass, where the markings with the tractor will be impossible in that case. So there are multiple options, and is another very important step while establishing plots.
Yeah, so many times we go to do variety trials on farm and we have this nice preparely seed bed. The one thing we do is run the tractor. We can mark the corners so we can get a straight line, and then we run that tractor back and forth, overlapping tires, overlapping one tire and moving on. So we have all those tracks. We call it tracking off the field. So whenever you randomize, it is independent if you're going to put the first variety on plot 2, and then on block 2 you're going to put on plot 5, and you don't get lost because you just count which plots are and you drive on the tracks that had been laid before. So it's pretty easy, pretty simple and fast, especially when you were dealing with a large experiment in the field. It's very time consuming to get those flags out in the field, and you get the job done pretty easy with the tractor. The other thing about demarcating plots and demarcating the experiment well, it's important for plot maintenance. And if you look here, this trial, we had a very clean alleys between the experiments, between the blocks here within this experiment, and having them well demarcated is easy to come back and clean those alleys and apply any other treatments. This is specifically here is an experiment for testing different crop rotations on nematodes in the soil, and it's a multi-year project, so we need to keep the identity of each plot across years, so we cannot lose. We need always to come back to the same plots and apply the treatment over a year. So having those flags and having little PVC pipes on the corner, buried on the corner of the plots, are ways to make sure we're always coming back to that same experimental unit year after year.